lived experiences. But I don't believe that would have been of interest for us, for the New Now movement. And I also wanted to find another path to research. So I was inspired by Adrian's map at first, did a bit of research, and then the lectures hit me. And then your presentation hit me. And then the discussions we had hit me. And here I am with a big blob that I try to give meaning to. I was also influenced by thinking about time and what now is. And I believe now is a process. It's an active movement. It's fretting. Time for me doesn't stand still. Time passes and I'm losing time. And I'm not afraid of that. I don't get scared of wasting time because I'm not afraid of dying. If time passes and I get old and die, it's fine. Me and time are still friends. This interest is connected with me and my thinking method based on alternative education, which I'm keen on because of my love-hate relationship with the school system and my academic learning, which I am kind of questioning at the moment. My curiosity sits somewhere else now. I believe curating is the best tool for alternative education. It connects, it educates. It shouldn't be the main interest, but more like means through which information, be it visual or not, is delivered or translated. So I derived a bit from this big topic because I wanted to find something that goes with me and our main interest this week, which is curating, the new, the now. And I translated that after all of your input into curating content and curating information. This is the digital edition. When I say information, I don't differentiate between pieces of information found online or in books or on the street or in bathroom stalls. Information is a message, it's knowledge, it's language, it's sound, it's 0101101011. I think curating information in the digital space for me, it's more than archiving or simply preserving data. It's because of the action itself, curating, the intention of care and thought are essential to the process. It adds value to the collection of information. So after only a few days of getting comfortable with the concept and letting the idea marinate, I believe this action to me has to do a lot with connecting and finding links or maybe similarity between pieces of information. Like I said, I think the value sits in the process of researching and making connections and letting the search guide you and your intuition to make sense, than the value of the actual finished product. Researching, finding, noting, elaborating, rearranging, deleting, abandoning, getting frustrated, maybe finding the missing piece, finishing. Maybe you're all familiar with this kind of process. So why do I think this is useful and valuable thing to do? Because of the human mind and that our brains are full of neurons and synapses that have individual patterns and we make connections in unique ways. We have different perspectives and different points of views. It feels the natural way. It's a human instinct connected to our desire to select and organize. Content curation is a natural solution to a natural phenomenon, resource abundance. Unless someone verifies, organizes, and curates an information resource, it has little value because it is disconnected from other relevant resources in the same information space. There is no context. Curating provides context to any information item and specific perspective, and they gain greater value and usefulness when contextualized. This is a powerful education tool that someone can use, where information can be discovered and appreciated, as well as a way to better understand, make sense, explore, and comprehend a specific topic, maybe even go further. This is how Adrian's map forced me into this avalanche of knowledge, but I chose to embrace the process of getting lost on paths of information. To my cat, some didn't mean anything to me, and some started a revolution in my mind. The act of curating information isn't about the individual pieces of content, but how these pieces fit together, what story they tell by being placed next to each other, what statement the context they create makes about culture and the world at large. It's holistic, it's gestalt. So let's explore what finding and hunting for information in the digital now could be. I think there are two ways of finding information. The first way is a more chaotic way, which connects with the idea of getting lost, to explore without a plan, hectic, mesmetic. If the destination is not known, the path unknown, maybe success sits with the search and the exploration, finding and identifying. going down the rabbit hole. This, for me, is the act of deep diving the internet, of going into the unknown, which is said to be a detailed examination of the subject, but for me is mainly letting the search take me wherever and letting my curiosity explore. This mostly means 99.9% useless information, like Google Map traveling, YouTube videos of how a snail gives birth, listening to underground Russian rap, and so on. But there might be a 0.01% that will spark an idea and lead me down a productive path. The internet is a wild beast and you are denied brave enough to confront it. Or like Jonah, you go deep into its belly, finding repentance and shit. So maybe after an exhaustive deep dive, there might be subjects you will want to revisit and get to know better. Maybe do something more meaningful and concrete. Now it's time for digital gardening. Digital gardening, as I found beautifully explained on the internet, is like a blog where posts are not displayed chronologically linear. Things are organized and ordered by subject or topic, but with a touch of chaos around the edges. The phrase digital garden is a metaphor for thinking about writing and creating that focuses less on the resulting piece and more on the process, care, and craft it takes to get there. A garden is usually a place where things grow, from planting seeds and pulling weeds. Just like plants in the garden, there are various stages of growth and nurturing. Some might wither and die, and others will flourish and provide a starting point for the gardener or other people that visit. You focus on what you want to cultivate over time. In fact, the whole point of digital garden is that they can grow and change, that weird, contradictory, or even absurd pages can coexist. A quote I found on the topic says, "It's less about iterative learning and more about public learning." It is an open collection of notes, researches, sketches, and exploration. Some notes are seedlings, some are budding, and some are fully grown evergreens. Maybe you've gardened enough and you want to share, connect, and curate information in a not so chaotic and hectic way, in a more organized and finished product way, kind of. Now is the time for podcasting. A digital version of free spoken word. I see podcasts as a platform where you can elaborate on a subject more organically and informally than in confinement of written word, or so I believe. Podcasting for me is capturing a conversation between at least two people, an exchange of knowledge, a dialogue. The podcast is a way of information to take form, to exist in the world as sound, to be shared and heard, to enter and transform the mind. Now and again, now and on repeat, still in the same moment. Podcasting is the same fresh capture of wonder, whenever you want it to be, always that now. In my experience with podcasting, not only listening but creating, I found that the most valuable thing is the moment when new perspectives are born in the context of exchanging information. Saying, hearing, understanding, asking questions, reacting with similar knowledge, arguing, trying to explain your point of view, and finally deciding to be or not to be on the same territory is the process of bringing information from different minds, putting it in a super collider, and taking out a new element, new subjective perspectives. Podcast is a now movement for information. Podcast is a now movement of information for people who will listen. For me, it is also like curating. It takes the mind of the explorer to be open to receive something new and to know with what to respond, knowing that all in all, it's a process of creating. The process of finding and working through what information is useful or not takes time, but the process of order makes time its bitch. Maybe creating information is an orderly way, can be mapping or mind mapping, thoughts, ideas, concepts, histories, narratives, border families, trails. I think of Leah Perzhobsky's elaborate and web-like mind maps trying to illustrate her knowledge museum. Maybe curating visual information like mood boards and channeling your inner emo teen to curate a Tumblr page or your inner vanilla blogger to curate a Pinterest page can be related to a more orderly way. But this is just a seed in my garden. I'll let time and the next now me decide if it grows or if it dies. Yep, thank you.